tea. Cleaning up, I'm taking care of myself and me. Drinking coffee, take a sip, they say I'm sparkling. Manifest it, write it down, you know it's happening.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Carlene and this is All Things Lean. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button right below this video and make sure you turn on that post notification bell so that you don't miss another video. So today guys, I know you can see I'm very excited. This is my first interview on my channel and I have a very, very special guest here today. He's an activist, motivational speaker, comedian, rapper, actor, writer, and director of his new movie, Filios. Please help me welcome the super talented Manson McCann.
First of all, thank you for having me here on your very first show, All Things Lean. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All of those accolades that you gave a rundown on, the this, the that, the this, and that. I wear many hats,
Yes.
and I'm glad that I'm able to operate in all of those hats. And but there's so many more hats I still wear besides that. But
Yeah,
we'll
it's
get
a
into
lot.
that a little bit later on. But thank you again for having me.
You're welcome. So I want to start it off with your name is Manson McCann.
Yes, it is.
So you go by Main OG as well.
Yes, ma'am.
So could you tell us a little bit about where did you come up with Main OG? When did you start referring to yourself as Main OG?
Well, I didn't start referring to myself as Main OG. One of my friends, his name is Mo.
Okay.
And I'm originally from Chicago, South Side. And back then I had multiple little nicknames and street names. They used to call me Smiley. That was one of my nicknames when I was in the neighborhood because I smile a lot. And they used to call me Lim for Lemon Head because they said that my head reminded them of the guy on the side of the Lemon Head box.
Yeah.
And then one day my friend Mo, we was just sitting there talking and he was like, "What's going on, old Mano?" And I was like, I didn't know who he was talking to.
Stuck.
And yeah, I was stuck. But then when I realized he was talking to me, I kind of like it. And Mano stuck with me. And it's also a derivative of my name. You know, my name is spelled M-A-N-S-O-N. And you spell Mano M-A-N-O. So I ran with it because it's part of my name.
Yeah.
Without the S and the N. And I liked it. And I've been Mano ever since I was 14 years old.
Okay. I like that. So you was, as you just mentioned, you were born and raised partially in Chicago. So mostly in Chicago. Yeah. So could you tell me a little bit about how it was growing up in Chicago?
Yes. I was born on the south side of Chicago, in the neighborhood Englewood.
Okay.
And I come from 59th Street. And I was born in Saginaw Hospital. I was born to my mother. My father passed the year I was born. So yeah, I came up without him. But I was born and raised, and I left Chicago at 16. So everything, by the time I got here to the city of Detroit, I had already seen a lot. I had already done a lot. So that's why I say I mostly grew up in Chicago. I became a man here, but I grew up, my childhood, all of my true friends, and all of that was in Chicago, and I got a chance to experience that at a very young age. Okay. So let's get right into it. You just wrapped up your very first full film, Filios. Yes. So can you tell me a little bit about how you came about that script? Well, it's funny because Filios was not a movie that I actually planned on liking.
Okay.
I was sitting there with a friend of mine, and we were just discussing on how to come up with, how do you come up with a movie? How do you come up with a script? You know, and I told him, well, you got to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. You got to have some conflict. And Filios kind of came out of the conversation, and I kind of gave him an example. And I said, well, okay, well, let's take this person here, and he on that program. Then let's take this person, and I said, what you got to do is try to make it make sense in between here and there. And we kind of was going over that concept, and he was like, okay, I got you. But then I said, well, can we write something like this? He said, yeah. He walked out the door, and suffice to say, I ended up writing the entire movie myself.
Well, you did a good job.
Thank you. The script come out of nowhere. It came from a conversation. So I had to be true to what I said when I said you got to make it make sense from beginning to end. And God gave me that gift to do it. And it was just a thought. But that's the fourth movie I've written. But the first movie I've actually finished. The last was the first. Ain't that something?
Okay. What was the other movies that you wrote? What else have you done?
I have several movies that I've written. I have a movie that I wanted to work on next that I started working on last year. It's called Jessica Biel. I have another movie. It's called Run It. And another movie I got is called For Sure, but I want to change the name of that. But it hits all the genres of people. Like For Sure is a young, like early 20s, mid 20s kind of movie, kind of partially teenager. Then you got Jessica Biel, which is the grown and sexy type. Everybody's 35 and 40 years old in the movie. You know, if you're in that 20 years old, you're somebody's son, you're a star. You know what I'm saying? Then Running is kind of a grown man flick. You owe me my money, I need it. So Run It, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of hit everybody in the way that I write, and because I have a sense of humor, I can make anybody laugh.
I know that's right. So I also want to say, because you did give me an opportunity to be a part of Filios, and I want to thank you for
great job.
Thank you. I want to thank you for considering me, to be a part of that movie. And also, I played Bridget Miles in the movie, right? So Bridget Miles is a director to get that movie.
Yes.
So would you think a Bridget Miles would be relevant in real life?
She is relevant.
Okay.
There's Bridget Miles walking around here every single day.
Okay.
When you're talking about the injustices and legal issues in the Department of Justice, and how a lot of people are going to death row innocently and dying. There are people who are in charge of these people. They got the Innocence Projects going on right now. So yes, Bridget Miles is walking around here right now as we speak and working and active. So you were very Bridget, you were very pertinent and important, and it's because of you, people like Bridget Miles in the movie, that a lot of brothers are exonerated to this day and still have their freedom. So I thought that your purpose in the movie was very key.
Okay. All right. So
make you feel better now?
Yeah. So my next question is, as I mentioned in the introduction, you, like you said, you wear many hats. So, comedian, activist, helping around the community. What made you, what inspired you to start pursuing filmmaking?
Well, my inspiration comes from everything that I do. I liken myself to a guy like Jamie Foxx. He's a multi-gifted, talented guy. Like he's a comedian, he's a singer, he can play instruments, he can rap, he can act. He can do all of those things, and I'm kind of like that myself. So my inspiration came through song first. I always wanted to be a singer before I wanted to be a rapper.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. That's something I didn't know that.
Yes.
Wow.
I always wanted to be a singer.
Okay.
I used to listen to everything. I listened to Huey Lewis and the News. I listened to Benny King. I go back like that. I listen to Madonna. I listen to everything, and because I knew a lot of songs, and the times were changing in the '80s, and then the hip hop era came in, I kind of was a little slow on it. I'm not a Run DMC fan. If people ask me Run DMC, I wouldn't even put Run DMC in my top 10. And people would be like, "Are you crazy?" No, because I was coming from trying to sing and to rapping. So that's what got me into rapping, because I knew a lot of songs, so I can combine what I knew and how I felt. And all of my raps were like stories, because that's what songs are. They're like stories. So I was able to story rap, and that's what made me be able to be a writer, which ended up making me write a book, which ended up making me write a movie. So it all went from me wanting to be a singer to now I'm an executive producer, director. And the reason why I want to be that is because I get a chance to do everything that God has put in me on one film. I can be the comedian, the actor, the activist, the father. I can be everybody that God wants me to be when I choose to do it. And that's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing with movies.
That was a great answer. I like that. I like that. I like that a whole lot. It's a lot of talented writers and filmmakers in Detroit,
Absolutely.
right? So we got to give them their shout outs for that. But what would you say separates your movies from any other Detroit filmmaker?
Well, first of all, I'm not from Detroit,
Yeah.
so my idea of movies are generated by Detroit
Okay. Yeah.
stories and scenes.
Yes.
So my movies you probably would never get a Detroit movie out of me because that's not my thought process. If I wrote a Detroit movie, you wouldn't want to see it because it'll be full of me getting on the bus, going to work, working at a plant, riding a bike, on a bridge car. You don't want to see that. So that would be my Detroit movie. But those are the movies that I'm writing.
Okay.
But it's not based in Detroit. I'm writing everything that I've done in my life. I'm going to write about it at some point, you see, but it's not going to be based on where I am, and not in the location geographically, but where I am in my life.
Yeah.
So that's what separates me from a lot of the local people here because they have a Detroit sense. They have a Detroit mind. They are originally Detroit people, and they have genuine Detroit stories that can be told. If I told a Detroit story, like I said, it would be a lie or somebody else's.
Yeah.
But I'll shoot it though. I'll shoot it.
Okay, so now I do have a trivia that I want to start doing on this channel. So you said you're from Chicago, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have just a little question about that. So if Chicago is at the south end of which of the 5 U.S. Great Lakes?
Repeat the question.
Chicago, Illinois is at the south end of which of the 5 U.S. Great Lakes?
Oh, Michigan.
Yeah. Okay. So you know your stuff.
I almost drowned in that damn lake.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
True story.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know exactly what lake it is.
Oh.
It terrified me when I was a kid.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that was good. I thought I was going to get you on that.
No, it almost got me.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so my next question is, what would we see from Mano G? What next scripts are you considering writing? What would we see from you next?
Well, as far as my writing is concerned, because I have the 3 other scripts in total, my writing has been curved now to, I'm getting back to my podcast, my talk show, which is comedy. And so now my writing is back to that. I'm about to start hitting the stages again as a comedian. Because I had to take a break from hitting the stage as a comedian. I remember one time I went in the middle of shooting a movie and Simply Chanel asked me to do a guest spot for about 5 minutes, and I got up there and I hadn't been thinking funny at all. Guess what? I wasn't funny at all because my mind mentality was, did I leave my computer on? Is this still rendering down? Did I get the right scene? I couldn't focus on telling the joke. So right now, that's where my mind is now. I'm writing my jokes again. I'm about to get back on the stage as I start to continue to promote the movie. I'm about to get my t-shirt business together. I have all the logos and graphic design. I have all the materials I need. I'm meeting with my designer Monday. Mano G Productions is on the move. Make It Make Sense Films. I'm on the move. I'm not stuck in the mud. I'm moving. I used to be stuck in the mud, but
Okay. So we know what you're going to do with your movie. So where do you see yourself in your company Make It Make Sense? Because you just mentioned Make It Make Sense Films. Where do you see for yourself and your company over the next 5 years?
Over the next 5 years, well, right now I'm in the process of getting it out of my head. And I did a post just last week of 2 years ago. When I posted a skit that I did on YouTube of me playing 3 me's. And I put a post up there then. I said, I'm just practicing, but by the time this is over with, I'm going to be out cold. And that was 2 years ago, almost to the day. And 2 years later, I have a full movie. So now I gotta be careful about how I answer this. So in 2 years, I went from just playing around to now I have a feature film. So you said 5.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm thinking acres and acres of land. Yeah, you said 5. I think I did good at 2. So you giving me a bumper with 3. So, but to be honest with you, I believe that Make It Make Sense Films, Melody Productions will be recognized along the top, production companies out here. But I want to be known for doing something, not just being productive as far as putting visuals together and movies and music, and but my main desire, my main goal is to build Sharon's house.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my mother's name. My main mission. You mentioned that I do a lot of homeless work. I do a lot of street ministry. I'm part of 2 Fish 5 Loaves. That's a street ministry. We cook our own food at home, and we come together as a group. We're not one particular church. There are teachers. We're black, we're white, we're multicultural, and we come together and we feed the city of Detroit. And so, but that is my main mission because I have a heart of gold like that. And once Sharon's house is built, that will give me an opportunity to help the people the right way, because I needed help the right way, and I kind of understand. My mother needed help the right way. I kind of understand. You can't just give somebody a roof over their head and not show them how to maintain it. You can't bring in addicts and not show them how to become free on it, and then expect for them to do it with willpower. They got all kinds of. I think I can do it a little bit better if I can get my foot in the door in that area. So all of this fanfare and movie stuff, and that's just to generate me to get Sharon's house built from the ground up. And how big that will be, I want it to be as big as Henry Ford.
I know that's right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's my mentality, and that's the end result to all of this madness that's going on right now. That's a method too.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great answer. I really like what you're trying to do. That's amazing. And speaking on that, I just have something that I want to say to you while I have you here.
Okay.
So when did I meet you? I was around 9 or 10, right?
About 10 years.
About 10 years old. So I just wanted to tell you that, since I met you, since I've known you, you has been an inspiration to me. Yeah, you have. You have. I know you don't hear that a lot because a lot of people ain't gonna speak up. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna let you know that you inspired them, because just from being a young child, I literally always just seen you striving to do better. Like you was always doing something into something. Like you being an activist, helping around the community. Like I've always looked at you in that light, always respected what you've done. And even if you ever felt like you wasn't doing enough, you was always doing enough to somebody. And I just happened to be one of those people. So I just felt like, it was necessary for me to let you know that, that you always been an inspiration to me. And, just me doing stuff like this, you always been in the back,
Well, thank you first of all. And then you got me here.
Oh, I know, I see.
Yeah, you got me. You got me.
I'm sorry. I just felt like it was necessary,
You got me.
I'm so sorry.
and my response to that, first of all, thank you.
You're welcome. I just feel like you need to know that.
And also thank you for the recognition of seeing. Of being able to understand like a person that's serious. So and for you to see that at 10, 12, 15, 20, 25 now, like, and how old you are now, I ain't gonna spill the baby, you know what I'm saying? I know, but but for you to pay attention to that, from someone else who's on the outside, it almost makes me get mad at people that's on the inside sometimes. Like how can someone recognize what it is and you so close to me and you don't get it, you know what I'm saying? So that really makes me feel good, and I appreciate that. Now my hat gonna get big. Let me take my hat off.
Well, that was that's what this channel is about. This channel is about just keeping people motivated, especially someone that's out there just striving to do good, striving to do better. That's my mission, is to keep people motivated, keep you motivated, keep you inspired to keep going in that direction that you're going in.
Absolutely.
Because it's amazing to me. You put together this film, and it was wonderful. I really loved it, and just all the parts that you played, everything that you've done, you was able to keep that conversation with yourself that long. That's talent. That is talent. It is. And you need to know that, If don't nobody else tell you, I will.
Well, let's get on that talking to yourself part. I was able to hold that conversation because I hold that conversation almost every day.
Oh, wow.
I communicate with myself almost in a similar fashion to the way that Terrence and Melvin which we'll go to a short clip of in a minute when we were sitting there at our first visit.
Okay.
And I'll explain a little bit more after we come back from the clip if you don't mind.
All right. Yep. Go ahead. So you guys, you're gonna take a look at this clip, and we'll be right back.
You do. You're getting up out of here, and you seem very comfortable with that. So I'm not gonna sit here and waste no more of my precious time on somebody who just want to kick the Johnny Bobo. That's Willie Bobo. Whoever the hell they are. And I'm gonna make sure I go back and tell the group don't send nobody else back down here on their behalf. Oh, I forgot. There is nobody else. I'm the last stop. So I'm finna go enjoy the rest of my day, Mr. Jackson, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your days, Mr. Jackson. I will talk to you later, sir. Oh yeah, and counselor. What is it? As far as your shirt and tie goes, I could have worn it better myself. Goodbye, Mr. Jackson.
Okay, welcome back, guys. Hope you enjoyed that clip.
Yeah.
So he must have made you mad.
yeah, that's like I said. That's the kind of conversation that I generally have with myself at times when I'm trying to get something done. You know, when I know that time is of the essence. I'm on the double, so I kind of drew that conversation from how I go about me going at myself every day, and it was kind of fun because I was sitting there by myself. Like both sides of the conversation, there was absolutely no one in the room with me, both sides, and I'm sitting there talking to a wall, and the wall was not responding. So I had to do the best that I could, and so that's when I reflected on my skill by being a graduate of Specs Howard. When you know how to pause, get back to it, and then continue on. So the work was easy, it was fun, but like I said, it was easy for me to do that. I kind of draw on that kind of conversation with my own motivational self every day. Yeah, that's my Manson and
Mano G, the alter ego. I love it. So, what would you say to any one of our viewers that want to pursue maybe filmmaking? What advice would you give them?
My advice would be, first of all, get the skill first. Running and grabbing cameras, and cause you got a phone right there, so you have one already. So that's not first. Get the skill first. Know how to operate the camera. A lot of phones do everything for you, but I suggest you get you a camera that you actually have to operate the ISO and all this so good stuff with, that you have to autofocus and manually focus. You need to know the ins and outs and how to do those things, so that would be the number one thing that I would give some advice on. The second thing is be a good storyteller. If you know, if you've been lying all your life, you're a good storyteller. I try not to say it that way, but if you've been lying all your life, you're a good storyteller, and that's not my case. I already told y'all I was a songwriter, singer, but if you are a good story writer, a good storyteller, and make it make sense. That's the name of my film company. As long as your story makes sense, and you have to have the drive to do it. It's all about the drive. A parked car can't gain no mileage. It can sit there and run all day. You'll run out of gas, never even putting it in drive, but you'll still run out of gas. So a parked car can't gain no mileage. So you have to have the drive, you got to have the skill, and you got to be able to tell a story. And then everything else will fall in line, because people will see that you're serious. They'll want to be helpful, just like Colleen was to me, as well as the other actors and actresses that were a part of Filios. And next thing you know, voila, you'd be, doing interviews like this, talking about your first film and where you plan on going with it from there.
That was great advice. That was really good. So, before we wrap this up, I also want to tell you again, you did a wonderful job on the movie Filios. Thank you so much for being a part of my podcast, my very first episode.
All right, man, that's what's up. You're on the map now.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that. But before we head out of here, could you give our viewers, your tags where they can find you at?
Oh, well, yes, right now I am who I am. I am Mano McCann on Facebook. I am Mano G Productions on Instagram. Also Mano G Productions on Facebook too, but I just started that one up with the movie getting going, so that might be moving a little slow, but still, you can help it get going. You can also catch some of the stuff that I have done previously with these little skits and little raps. I still got rap videos and songs and things of that nature. At my age, I think I'm about 29 now, I believe, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm up in there somewhere. So, you know, and then that's Mano McCann on YouTube as well, MANOMCCANN. The movie Filios is on imdb.com. You can go down there, you can download the app, it's for free. I want you to rate the movie and review the movie, and then that's all. The movie is for free, you don't have to pay for it, but what I would like was paying enough for me is rating it and let me know how you feel about it so I'll know which direction to go on. If you like it, I'll continue on. If you don't like it, I'll change it up, but I'm not stopping. So those are my handles, those are my platforms, and please watch the movie. If not for my sake, watch it and see your girl. She did very good as Miss Bridget Miles, one of the most important people that we got walking around here in this country today, helping keep innocent people alive.
Thank you so much, and thank you for that. Before I end off this video, I want to give y'all a little bit of inspiration. So say goodbye to comfort zones, doubt, and fear, and say hello to opportunities, new beginnings, and faith. Because I'm saying hello to my new opportunities today. And with that being said, I see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye.
She ready. Oh, just look at her glow. She ready. Yeah, she's standing up tall, confident and bold.